Where does your money go? Are you struggling to make your money work for you? Do you find that you've got more month than money? So what I mean by that is you get to the end of your money before you get to the end of your month. Hi, my name's Amanda Walker, and I like to call myself the mortgage coach because I combine mortgage advice with financial education. I feel financial education, financial coaching is so important. And today we're going to talk about several mistakes that people generally make. Not having a budget. So that's mistake number one. Now, the great thing about a budget is not only does it track, but it also gives clarity. Now, a bit about my background. So before I was a mortgage advisor, and I have been for the last 5 years, I was an accountant for 20 years. And I've also more recently, over the past few years, qualified as a financial coach. So this is why I know about budgets. Now, a lot of people think of budgets are to set targets for what they're spending going forward. But when you're actually looking at a budget, you really do need to actually look at what you are spending initially. It's all very well saying, I'm going to budget for this, I'm going to budget for that. But until you know what you spend month in, month out, you can't actually do that. So that is the great thing about a budget. It's more of a financial tracker than an actual budget because it allows you to actually really see what you're spending. And if you don't have one, then that's why you don't know what you're spending and why your money runs out. So a tip from this is get 1 month's bank statements and actually highlight what is an expense that you really, really need, what is an ad hoc expense, and you can start tracking your income, as in your salary, or if you're self-employed, what money comes in from people paying you, and your expenses, and then do a comparison, and that will highlight why you've got more month than money. The next mistake is living paycheck to paycheck. Now, a lot of people do this and it's really not good because if an emergency comes up or something happens that you haven't got what you weren't aware of, it really can make a difference. So one of the things that I work with my clients on is setting up an emergency fund, putting away a percentage of your salary so you're not just living paycheck to paycheck, and you slowly in the background save up this emergency fund so you do have ideally 3 months money put aside. So if something does come up, you get made redundant or something else comes up, you do have money. So you have money put aside just in case. The third mistake is not investing early enough. Now, when you invest, this can be myself, I've done it in property for obvious reasons, other people invest in other things, but at the end of the day, when you're investing or even having savings, that's putting money aside that can earn money for you. So in the form of interest, in the form of equity, there is compound interest, and the longer that you save for or invest for, the more money that it generates. So it's all about time rather than timing it. So it's the time you spend either owning a property for a length of time you spend owning those stocks and shares, as opposed to that timing it right, i.e., buying a property and then selling it straight away. If you have a property for a certain amount of years, you are going to benefit from it. If you have stocks and shares for a certain amount of years, you are going to benefit from it. So the earlier you start investing, the better. But I would start investing from today. There's no point in sort of wishing that you'd done it earlier, that time has gone. But the sooner you start, the better. Overpaying on bills and subscriptions. Now, I kind of alluded to this earlier. What I always suggest with my clients is get a month, or if you can, 3 months bank statements, print them out, have a look at them and actually highlight them. So use a highlighter and check out. I normally use a traffic light system. So red is no go. It's things that you don't need and are very, very expensive. Then amber are things that you may use once in a while. They're not very expensive, but maybe you could consider cutting them out. And then green is you do have to pay these things. Now, when you're looking at making overpayments, I would always say overpay on your credit card. In fact, have a plan to pay off that credit card. If you can move it to an interest-free credit card and say it's interest-free for 12 months, divide up the balance by 12 months and pay that amount off every single month. Don't pay minimum payments, because then when you get to the end of the 12-month interest-free period, for example, you've still got quite a massive balance, and then you either have to move it to another interest-free if you're able to, or you get whacked with high interest. But if you make a plan, then that is also great. Also, by looking through your bank statements, you are looking at your subscriptions. So a lot of people, for example, will sign up to a gym and never go. What other subscriptions have you got that you haven't used? If you can genuinely hand on heart say, I have not used this subscription in the last 3 years, and it's not the last 3 months, and it's not an annual subscription, then consider cancelling it. It's amazing how much savings you can get from that. The last one is seeking financial advice. Now, at the end of the day, this comes in several different things. You can go for a financial advisor. You can, if you're interested in property, go for a mortgage advisor. A finance coach, which is what I do, and I do have a program, actually talks about how to coach you round your own finances. So I will be doing other videos to explain the program a little bit more, but if it's something you're interested in, please contact me, put it in the comments, and we can go through it. I hope you found this video useful.